Today we're talking about the Cidoo V65, probably the best keyboard for the price you're paying. It really is ridiculous what kind of stuff you're getting for the price you're paying. The Cidoo V65 is a 65% hot swappable keyboard, and it comes with a gasket mount style, and it has a 100% all metal aluminum case. What you have to keep in mind in this review is that this keyboard only costs 160 euros or $130 I think in the US, and for that price it is really phenomenal. When it comes to the packaging feels really solid. It came in a thick carton box with also foam installed on it. Yeah, I really can't say anything bad about it. And also some accessories come with it. You get a keycap holder, an Allen key, I think that's how it's called, a weighted USB cable, and some dimmers for your RGB, which make them even brighter. So if you want to install that, you also have that option. When it comes to build quality, I nearly don't have anything bad to say about it. The case feels very nice. There weren't any scratches or something like that. It's just a very hefty keyboard, and in my opinion it also looks very good from a stylistic point of view. It comes in this retro vibe, this off-white color, some orange accents, and to me that is exactly what I've been looking for, which is also why I'm that happy with the overall styling of that keyboard. But you can only get it in this configuration. The gasket mount style also offers a solid amount of flex. On the corners there's quite a lot of them, but when you press down like the board in the middle, yeah, it is alright. I'd say it's, it's a solid amount of flex, not too much, not too little, somewhere in between. Just a quick reminder that it would be really amazing if you liked this video. If you liked it, and also subscribe to my channel to see more videos like that. And now let's go on. But the two things I didn't like that much about it is the knob. To me, the knob is too close to the actual keys. So when you turn it, it could also happen that you accidentally, press the keys, and you don't really want to do that. So in my opinion, it should have been a bit further away from the keys. Probably the worst thing about the keyboard is the on and off switch, though. It's very nitpicky, but I've never seen, not only on keyboards, but in technology devices in general, I've never seen, or mostly never seen, an on and off switch that bad. It is terrible, people. When you pick up the keyboard, you shake it around a little bit, because when I picked it up, it rattled a little bit. I wanted to find out where it's coming from, and it is the on and off switch. It's not really fixed on there. It moves around a little bit. They could probably just easily invest 10 cents more and have a solid on and off switch. It's one of these things they shouldn't cheap out on, because the on and off switch, depending on how you use the keyboard, is also one of the first things you touch when you want to turn it on and activate it, because it also has a wireless connection. And in comparison to all these other amazing things on the camera, it just feels very off. Talking about the wireless connection, how good is it actually? It only got a Bluetooth connection, which I don't really like. I think every keyboard which is wireless should include also a dongle for connection, because Bluetooth still isn't, in my opinion, the most reliable connection. It shows. From what I've experienced, this keyboard loses the wireless connection quite frequently, but also regains it very fast. So it basically loses the connection and it reconnects in a second. From a reliability standpoint, it isn't the best, and I think it is something the more unknown or newer brands have to figure out, how to actually have a connection which is as good as some of these main players like Logitech. Because with the Craft keyboard, for example, I think I didn't have a connection problem at all when it comes to Bluetooth or when it comes to a dongle. And when you connect the keyboard wirelessly to your PC, you can't put the RGB lighting on, which is kind of a pain. Sometimes you may want to put it on, but it is just not possible, probably to save a little bit of battery life. But I think this is a decision the consumer should have made if he wants to, or she wants to turn the light on or off, and not the manufacturer not giving us the option to actually do something with the RGB. For me, it is not that big of a deal because this keyboard looks absolutely stellar without RGB, but they are like these, you know, it's just like the 5 minutes in a day when I like to turn the RGB on, but I can't. So yeah, it is what it is. Not the biggest deal, but it should be noted. This keyboard is also VR compatible, which is quite nice because a 65% layout isn't the biggest, and if you can then configure some of these buttons to your own needs, that is pretty nice. So how's the typing experience? In my opinion, it is pretty damn phenomenal. It just feels so good. The switches sound amazing. And with the Bluetooth connection, your desk also looks so clean. You know, I don't like cables and stuff like that. And you just, you have that amazing feeling at your fingertips when you type on it. It is absolutely stellar and I highly recommend it. This keyboard comes with Quark matte switches, and I think these switches are only available on this keyboard and are not sold separately, at least on the time I'm making this video right here. They got an operating force of 47 grams and they are also pre-looped, which I think is pretty important, especially for a keyboard like that, because it is pre-assembled and the likelihood that the people who buy it, take it apart, or mod it, is I think not that high. So I think if you just keep on introducing more pre-looped switches for pre-assembled keyboards, it is just a pretty great feature because they just feel so much better. Once you have looped switches or pre-looped switches, whatever, you don't want to go back. You really can't go back. The keycaps are quite nice. They are dye supplementation PBT keycaps, so also a pretty nice material, I'd say, and they also get a little texture, which just makes the typing experience overall more fun because it's just more satisfying haptically, and it also gives you better control on your keystrokes because you have a better feeling for the keyboard itself. The stabilizers are also doing a pretty great job. They are also pre-looped, thanks God. And yeah, there's nothing really to complain about. And here's a little sound test how the keyboard actually sounds. Definitely let me know what you think about the sound. And one extra point I want to cover in this review is the support of Epomaker, because I had some problems with the keyboard. I talked about the Bluetooth problem before, and I also had some problems with the VR compatibility. I don't really know why VR wasn't working for me. In the end, I actually deinstalled VR and downloaded VR again, and also downloaded the files for the keyboard again, and then it actually was working. So I don't really know what was the problem. And when I had these VR and connection problem at first, I contacted the support and they were also happy to help me out here. But in the end also couldn't really find the source of the problem. And they offered me a refund, so just send the product back to Amazon, or also a 15% discount if I just keep the keyboard with the problems I'm having. I think the keyboard is still a great value, even if you just use it with a wire, although if you buy a wireless keyboard, you kind of want to use it also with the wireless connection. And with the VR problem, it wouldn't be that big of a deal for me because I wasn't really planning on using it that extensively. But obviously it is also not optimal if you buy a new keyboard and one of these features isn't working. So I think overall giving me a 15% discount, if you know the problems would still be there, I think it's actually a pretty fair deal. So overall, this keyboard really is a keyboard I can highly recommend to the people who are planning on using it in a wired mode most of the time, If you are planning on using this keyboard with a wireless connection, I'd say just buy it on a website like Amazon, where you have the option to try it out and send it back quite easily. The value proposition on this keyboard is just too good to miss out on. You get a hot swappable keyboard, you get a keyboard which has a full metal aluminium case. It also comes with the gasket mount style. It has pre-looped switches and stabilizers, and it comes in at a price point of 160 euros, or in the US $130. You just gotta try it out for that price. So please like this video if you liked it, subscribe to my channel to see more videos just like that, and also share it with a friend who might is in the market to buy a new keyboard. I see you in the next one. Out.